Good afternoon, everyone. We are Group 1. Our professor is C.K. Huang and our team member is Joyce, Laura, Ina, and me. And today our topic is globalization of market and international of the firm. And now we will play a skit.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to ABC News. I'm Joyce Huang. Let's see today's top story. The Japanese company was far ahead of Samsung in developing innovative devices that consumers expect. And Samsung's rise as a global power deeply coincided with Sony's decline. And Samsung is the world's top smartphone, while Sony has just 3.5% of the market worldwide. Let's hear from Liliana, who's reporting live at Liliana.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Liliana. Reporting currently in the street of New York City. Let's interview some passers-by what brand of smartphone they are using. Hi, lady. We are ABC News. Have you got a time?
Sure.
Would you mind to tell me what brand of smartphone are you using?
I'm using iPhone
Oh, why do you choose iPhone?
because I prefer its iOS system and its rare breakdown. And the main reason is I prefer its camera function.
Okay, thank you for accepting my interview. Bye. Hello, lady. Have you got a time?
Sure.
We are ABC News. Would you mind to tell me what brand of smartphone are you using?
I use Samsung
Oh, why you choose Samsung?
because it runs Android operating system and its budget. And the main reason I choose Samsung is its big screen size.
Oh, why not you choose HTC or Xiaomi?
Maybe their advertisements are not attractive, and there are lots of celebrities endorse Samsung mobile phones.
Okay, I got it. Thank you for accepting my interview. Thank you. Now, back to you, Joyce.
Thank you for your report, Diana. Samsung can rejoice in the misfortune of its long-time rival. Sony's words are not just a result of management misuse at the company. They are also signs that likely Samsung itself may be in trouble. Like Sony, Samsung has long relied on Android smartphones to compete against Apple's iPhone. The Android can be stifled with competition, as Apple is the high-end segment. Okay, thank you for watching ABC News today. And please check out the more details on our website at www.abc.com. And if you have any suggestions, please leave your message on our website too. I'm Joyce Huang. Have a nice day. See you next time.
Now, let me start our presentation. Globalization and technological advance have changed the international business environment more than any other change. Globalization allows firms to view the world as one large market for goods, services, capital, and knowledge. And there are four phases of globalization. The first phase begins around 1830. Due to growth of railroad, ocean transport, and the large manufacturing and trading firms. And the second phase of globalization begins due to the electricity and steel production. Europe colonization of countries in Asia, Africa, and Middle East lead to establishment of some of the early subsidiary of multinational enterprise. And the third phase of globalization began after World War II. At war's end, great demand exists for consumer production to rebuild Europe and Japan. And United States become the world's dominant economy. And the fourth phase of globalization began in the early 1980s. Great growth in cross-border trade and investment. The phase was triggered by personal computer and the internet. And there are 3 points of globalization. First is drivers, and second is dimensions, and third is societal and first level concentrate on market globalization. And we will introduce the detail later. Now let me introduce the dimensions of market globalization. 1. Integration and interdependence of national economies. Result from first collective international activities. Government decrease the investor and training barriers. And 2. Rise of regional economic integration blocks. Free trade areas are formed by 2 or more countries such as EU, NAFTA, and APEC, and its reduced barriers and trend. And 3. Growth of global investment and financial flow. FDI and currency trading and global capital markets are growing. However, widespread integration can have negative effects. For example, when the United States experienced the banking crisis in 2008, the crisis quickly spread to other countries and it caused global recession. 4. Globalization of production. To cut costs, for example, auto industry, manufacture in low labor cost locations such as China and Mexico. 5. Globalization of supplies. First, outsourcing supplies in the value chain to vendors overseas. In a new trend, many people go abroad to take advantage of low-cost supplies.
There are 5 drivers of market globalization. 1. Worldwide reduction of barriers to trade and investment. Over time, national governments have greatly reduced trade and investment barriers, encouraging freer international exchange to goods and services. The trend is partly facilitated by the WTO. 2. Market liberalization and adoption of free market. China, India, and Eastern Europe have become some of the most cost-effective countries for producing goods and services worldwide. 3. Industrialization, economic development, and modernization. shifted economies from producers of low value to higher value goods, such as electronics and computers. For example, Brazil is now a leading producer of private aircraft. Economic development enhances standards of living and discretionary income in emerging markets. The most important measure of economic development is gross national income (GNI) per head. This map shows the levels of GNI worldwide, and it reveals that Africa is home to the lowest income country, along with a few countries in Asia. And these areas are also characterized by low levels of market globalization. 4. Integration of world financial markets enables firms to raise capital, borrow funds, and engage in foreign currency transactions wherever they go. For example, as an individual, you can transfer funds to a friend in another country using the SWIFT network. 5. Advances in technology reduces the cost of doing business internationally by allowing firms to interact cheaply with suppliers, distributors, and customers worldwide. Modern technology is promoting a higher level of international business activity than ever before, and facilitates the internationalization of companies, including countless small firms. Information and Communications Technology, ICT. Now firms interact more effectively with foreign partners and value chain members more effective than ever before. They transmit all kinds of data, information, and communication worldwide to that help ensure the smooth running of their operations worldwide. And this graph reveals the declining cost of global communication and growing number of internet users. The cost of computer processing fell by 13% per year during the past 2 decades and continues to fall. In 1930, a 3-minute phone call between London and New York cost $3,000. By 1980, the cost had fallen to $6, and now the call is virtually free. Scanners and fax machines send documents worldwide for almost nothing. In order to support economic development, countries need modern infrastructure in communications, such as reliable telephone systems. And Africa is benefiting from the rapid increase in mobile telephone ownership. The rapid penetration of cell phones into Africa helps account for much of the continent's economic growth in recent years. ICT's role in globalization. We check Africa, for example, increasing availability of cell phones in Africa has helped it spur economic growth there. And some farmers use cell phones to monitor the crop prices and in various markets where they sell their harvests. Manufacturing and transportation technologies. robotics, and production lines managed by the microprocessor-based controls are transforming manufacturing, mainly by reducing the cost of production. Firms can make products cost-effectively even in short production runs. The cost of international transportation has declined dramatically, spurring rapid growth in global trade. Collectively, technological advances have gradually reduced the cost of doing business internationally.
And next is societal consequence of market globalization. First is contagion, rapid spread of monetary and financial crisis. Contagion refers to the tendency of a financial or monetary crisis in one country to spread rapidly to another country due to the ongoing integration of national economy. Starting in 2008, the world economy experienced a severe financial crisis and a global recession. Financial crisis emerged when pricing bubble occurred in housing and commodity market worldwide. As bubble in real estate market, home value crashed, leaving owners with mortgage debt greater than the value of their homes. And the recent European debt crisis is also an example which refers to the spread of the ongoing European debt crisis to another Eurozone country. And the second is loss of national sovereignty. Sovereignty is the ability of a country to govern its own affairs. Multinational enterprise activity can interfere with government's ability to control their own economy, social, political systems. And some corporation is bigger than the economies of some countries. Like Walmart, its internal economy, its total revenue is greater than the GDP of some countries, including Greece and Poland. However, some argue that global competition makes multinational enterprise less powerful. For example, Ford, Chrysler, and GM once dominated the U.S. auto market, and now there are other firms, including Toyota, Honda, Nissan, and BMW, and now Toyota leads the U.S. market. And the third one is offshoring and the price of jobs. Offshoring is relocation of manufacturing and other value chain activities to cost-effective location abroad. Because of offshoring creates many new jobs and opportunities, but it also makes many people lose their jobs. For example, Ford, GM, and Volkswagen have all transferred its shoe factories from Germany to the country in Eastern Europe. And next is effect on the poor. Multinational enterprises are often criticized for paying low wage, exploiting workers, and employing child labor. Child labor is particularly troubling because it denies children educational opportunity. And we take Nike for example. Nike was criticized for paying low wage to shoe factory workers in Asia. And some of workers work in sweatshop conditions. And now, numerous multinational enterprises are making efforts to improve working conditions in their foreign plants. Next is effect on the natural environment. Because of globalization, globalization can harm the environment by promoting increased manufacturing and the economy activities that result in pollution, habitat destruction, and other environmental harm. For example, as China and India industrialize, air and water pollution has become their major environmental hazard. However, as globalization stimulates rising living standards, people focus increasingly on protecting their environment. Like Ford and GM, they are gradually improve their environment standard in Mexico market. And the final one is effect on the national culture. Because of globalization, consumers increasingly wear similar clothes, drive similar cars, and watch the same movies. Advertising leads to the emergence of social value models in Western countries, especially the United States. Like Hollywood, it dominates the global entertainment industry. And in this way, globalization can change people's norms, values, and behaviors, and tend to homogenize over time.
Percent change in annual GDP growth. This exhibit shows how GDP growth in advanced, developing, and emerging economies during the global recession and the financial crisis. It declined substantially. During the global recession and the financial crisis, even though go through the deep recession. The global economy has always returned to the net GDP growth. China and other emerging markets continue to grow at a slower rate. And an important cause of the crisis was inadequate regulation of mortgage market and the banking sector in the U.S. and elsewhere, which highlights the importance of a strong legal and regulatory framework for national economic well-being. Many people fell into severe poverty, partly because developing economies depend on export to advanced economies which were in recession. In order to stimulate economic activity, government pumps hundreds of billions of dollars into their national economies. And when government addressed the crisis, they increased regulation of economic activity. Economic freedom is the extent of government interference in business, strictness of the nation's regulatory environment, and the ease with which economic activity can be carried out. And the national prosperity is strongly associated with participation in international trade and investment. The nation's levels of economic freedom. Market globalization for companies is that in most cases, a domestic focus is no longer viable. Market globalization compels firms to internationalize their value chain and access the benefits of international business. In a typical value chain, the firm conduct their market research, R&D, and sourcing, purchase production input, and the firm perform marketing activities such as pricing, promotion, and selling, distribute of the product in target market, and the after-sales service. The value chain concept helps clarify what activities are performed where in the world. The international firm configures its sourcing, manufacturing, marketing, and other value-adding activities on a global scale. Its rationale: first, cost saving. Second, increased efficiency, productivity, and the flexibility of value chain activities. Third, access customers, inputs, labor, or technology. And last, benefit from foreign partner capabilities. And the above is our presentation. And now is Q&A time. Do you have any questions about our presentation?